Hey, sunny good afternoon to you. Jason Phillips from Appraise. I'm down in Homer City, Pennsylvania, down near Pittsburgh today, looking at a 1969 Charger RT, getting ready to put it up on the hoist, look underneath it, take it for a test drive. Ground temperature is 74 and engine temperature is 75/76. So we're basically stone cold out here. Client wants to hear this car from a cold start perspective, and that's what we're going to give him. Go ahead and fire it up, please. '72 Freight Hemi. Engine sounds good. Alright, let's go get it up on the hoist, see what it's all about. L9B Larry 9B. That's a 69 440, 375 horsepower out of the gate with a single 4-barrel. Set up with a dual quad. Currently, car was originally F8 green. That's not exactly F8 green that's on it now, with a light green poly interior. That's all done in black now. Alright, let's get it up on the hoist and we'll go through this. If you need inspection service, 800-301-3886. 300 guys around the country. Alright, up on the hoist, studying this beast. And this car is done particularly nice. A lot of time and thought, it appears, went into this build. Going through this for the potential buyer. By the way, if you're watching this video, it's because he may have passed on the car. This video goes out to him personally, private. Only he can see it. If you're seeing the video, he either owns this car and it's already been shipped to Florida, or it got published as a commercial for me because he didn't buy the car. Either way, that's when you see him. I'm a hired gun on this inspection, just kind of showing the car for what it really is, what it's not, and how nicely it's done. Let's start here. I guess in the back you can see the presence of factory spot welds all along the bottom of this quarter panel. You can see the original quarter panel tabs that get pulled down normally into the slot and matched up. That's how they set them. And I'm not positive if that may or may not have been changed on the outside skin based on the way the two slot up and tie together. There's also a welded seam all the way along inside here that's not normally there, but it's an original component type piece with the reinforcement ribs and the drain plug. The wheel well is cool. Normally, this is a mini tub. Normally, when you're looking at the rear frame rail on a B body, there's 4 fingers of space here to the flange. In this case, there's barely 2. So that whole tub was extended in so that they could fit a meatier tire up in that well. It's got nice clearance. I checked the clearance issues. Let me grab my tape measure again and show. Hey, I'm a lefty in a right-hander's tape world. So we got a 12.5-inch tire, and we got about a 15-inch opening. So nice. And here we're at 1 inch inch and a quarter to an inch and a half on the distance of this trunk extension over, where normally that trunk extension comes all the way out to here. So plenty of clearance there. Bottom of the extension panels are in great shape. Reinforcement bolted in right here at that rear extension. Shapes the fuel tank, and no compression in any of those die holes, no pulls. Speaking of die holes, these holes up here in the rails, they're not die holes, those are the spring perch holes, and that's where this leaf spring once sat. But they moved this. Let's see, is that true? Before I tell you that, the spring appears to have been moved in, because this reinforcement is added. It's completely beefed up, tied into the rail there. And normally, the distance from the rocker is about 4 inches. The spring perch would be here. And it's not. It is there. So they moved that spring perch inbound. That's what I'm seeing, and the workmanship's real nice. Let's take a look at the other side. And it's just as pretty. Nice stout looking welds. A lot of time and consideration, it appears, was put into doing this beefing up. I'll get into these frame connectors here in a minute. But again, we got the bigger distance here. And again, that's where the spring, now I feel more confident saying that, that's where the spring used to be. Okay, so there's our rear end. So obviously, if they brought the spring perches in, that means the inbound tires, the tires had to come in. So we've got a modified Dana 60 housing. Modified Dana 60 housing. Disc brakes were added. You can see where they've cut and modified the axle tubes. So shock mounts there off the leaf perch, and shock mounts there off the body. Let's not spend too much time studying that. I don't want my camera to go dead. Performance exhaust, big fat. I didn't go around the diameter of that, but that's at least 2.5. That's at least 2.5. So moving forward, just a really well cleaned up, well done, no overspray on the lines and clips. All that stuff was put in. Proportionary valve for the disc brakes to the rear. Fuel lines, fuel pump, Flowmaster cans. Drive shaft is in very nice shape, custom fabbed up because it's got a Tremec manual trans in it. These frame connectors are done really nice. They're welded right up the tranny cross-member support rail, and they come up along somebody cut them right into all the floor pan pockets. I don't think that's a bought piece. I think somebody had to make that. You can criticize that comment if you wish. If you know better, tell me, Mopar guys, what do you think? Done, just done well. Okay, no complaining. And moving forward, not much more complaining you're going to get underneath here. I'll be stopping the video shortly, but all the splash areas are done really nice. Pay attention to the die holes, no tears. No elongations. Back sides of the fenders are all splattered up. Same here as we go back. Pinch weld along those rails is real nice and smooth. It's not, that one's going to be a little harder. I don't have my flashlight in my hand. Wheel tub, again, super nice. Headers tucked up there, really nice. Coated, polished. K-frame was done really nice. I'm going to stop saying the word really nice because you get the idea. Maybe better just quit talking. Ball joint boots are in nice shape, braided lines up front, shocks are newer. Links are nice, tie rod ends nice, detailed. Not much to complain about at all underneath this car. Billet pulley system, V-belt. You can see it's got an aluminum radiator. We'll get into that when we get back up on top of the car. So, well done. Tremec trans. A little bit of splatter right here on this header pipe, as you can see. Little drip of oil and a little drip of oil. Most likely the rear main. Front of the pan looks pretty good. Don't see much happening there. All right. H-pipe. Exhaust has been painted with a heat treatment paint. Tranny input seal looks good. Rear end yoke looks nice. I don't see any axle tube leaks. I don't see any other leaks to speak of on the car. I don't smell any raw fuel down here. Let's pause out. Actually, before I pause out, here's our original quarter panel overlap seams to the rocker. You can see a plethora of original spot welds down there, and the pinch weld all along here looks real nice and real clean. The other side mimics. Quick view. The proof is in the pudding, right? Anyway, that all looks very nice. And these seams were done up. This is exactly what it looked like from the factory, except that seam was sloppier from the factory. I went around the car with a digital paint gauge already, and I'll do that again to show this potential buyer how good the body is, where they flatten it out. It's really, really straight body. Probably a little easier to do that on the ground. Door lines are pretty nice. Real nice. On the picky side, little hair in the paint right there. Little slight crack in that seam. Nothing horrific. Little contamination under the paint right there. The very bottom lip. Heading on down the rocker, the car probably has seen very little and in very careful road time, because it just doesn't seem to have much general wear on it at all. It's been maintained really nicely, in my opinion. Little dirt spot right there, I think that'll rub off. But really nothing to get too excited about regarding paint damage or contamination. Less than what would probably happen if you drove the car 500 or 1,000 miles. There's a small little nick that they probably put in it when they were putting the trim back on. I saw only one little tiny contamination up top and a small ding that didn't get worked out of the body. I'll show it to you in a bit. Down the left side, I'm back in the left quarter panel now, a couple little stone splatters, pencil lead size. I normally would do up an exploded view of the paint flaws and whatnot, but this car just really doesn't have enough to brag about. The seam looks pretty nice. It didn't look better than that from the factory. The feature lines and the door lines look good. This door, when it closes, it comes up just a skosh, but it closes really nice with a 2-finger effort. So again, from the factory, Mopars didn't really fit much better than what you're seeing. This one probably is as good or better. Definitely the body's been blocked out better than OEM. Getting ready to back the car out real quick. We got some Billet Specialties 5-spoke wheels. They're in excellent shape. I didn't find curb scuffing on any of them. You saw from earlier, it's a 15-inch tire and wheel and 12.5 in the width. A little smaller up front. the car up yet at all, just pulled it in enough. The taillight frames are in really good shape, bumper chrome's nice. A little bit of slight patina slash early stages of patina on the chrome bezels, otherwise the trim's in real nice shape. Wheel openings fit nicely. I'll use the digital gauge to go around it in a few minutes. Very cool non-OEM fiberglass hood. Fits real nice. Slight hump right here. Shown in still photos a little better. The other side just lays really flat, really nice. Headlight bezels and all the grille trim is very nice. A little flatter. Door lines are really nice. And again, that feature line's close, perfect on the passenger side. I love the interior on this car. It's kind of subtly aggressive, kind of ominous. Hints of being original, but not quite there. The door skins are in very nice shape. Bottoms of the door are super nice. Jams done with nice detail. I feel like I'm selling the car instead of inspecting it, honestly. Seals have been changed. Door jam detail is pretty good. Pretty good. This looks like a faux lizard skin or alligator, something of that nature. These buckets, you might recognize them. I do. Those are out of probably a late 90s Cadillac Eldorado. They got that rectangle power button. They're hooked up and a recliner built in. I put them in my 56 Chevy. So I cheated. I kind of know what they are. Glass is all tinted around. Code R11, I think is the Music Master Radio code. It says AM only. This is a factory AM FM, so that might have been swapped out for something a little cooler. Painted to match. Here, let me quiet down so this guy can drive. Oh, well now. And we got a custom gauge package. I don't want to get my phone in his face, but just real quick I'll show the temperature is just starting to come up. Volts are charging. I can't see the needle on the oil pressure gauge. Tach is operating. Speedo's at 50, tach's at about, looks like $2,000. Is that about right?
Yeah.
Right now. This car is non-air conditioned, and the future owner would like to have it air conditioned. We got 2-speed wipers, possibly working well. Restored ashtray. My glove box is done nice, new liner.
Upgraded stereo.
Say again, please.
It's upgraded stereo.
Yeah. They didn't have a Kenwood CD player in the glove box in 1969? Yeah, it looks like it might have an input as well for well, that thing's still, yeah, USB rather, yeah. So Tremec 5-speed transmit, oh sorry, 6-speed.
It's the first 6-speed I've ever seen.
Oh cool. Console's done really nice, aluminum's polished up nice, and they actually did a trim package inside the console.
There's the controls for that Kenwood.
Oh, okay. It's cool. We're not going to waste time on the radio. We're going to drive this car. Jason Phillips from Auto Appraise doing the test drive, and then the wrap up on the paint and body and interior on a 1969 RT. Original 440, 375 horsepower, as I mentioned earlier. I think an original D32 I think I saw on the trim tag on this, which would have been an automatic 727 car. Obviously it's not that anymore. It had the L code fender mounted turn signals, no longer has those. Hey man, that's the fun part of my job. Having a hard time holding the camera still, but
It's a 6-speed. You're at 6 now.
nice. How's that clutch feel? Where's the action at in that clutch?
It's probably hydraulic. It's about right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not normal. It's not original.
Okay. Yeah, gotcha.
It's right there.
Where's it engaging at? Let me see.
See?
Oh yeah. It's got
It's not manual. It's got to be hydraulic.
Plenty of meat on that bone.
Yeah, it's hydraulic. It's strong. You can tell just by chunks of tires. It's strong.
When we get back, we should probably check the wire on the sending unit for the oil pressure gauge because I don't see it from over here.
Oh, we go again. It worked.
Okay.
I'll fix that. It was working when we left.
Gotcha. All right. We'll put you on pause for a minute. Thought I'd hop out for more fun. Oh, I was gonna get you pulling out. Nice. Damn, he didn't stop. Now I gotta walk home. Can hear him coming around the block to get me. Again, a little bit of a rich burn. All right, let's check the cancel on the turn signal.
You did already.
What's that?
It canceled.
All right, put it back on for me.
Okay, I'm gonna do the right one. See it?
Yep, I do.
Yep. See, as soon as I turn
Okay,
the
it
wheel.
canceled. All right. All right.
Okay, now left or left. See, it canceled right up.
You know what? I just didn't see it. Sorry
Let
about
me
that.
back up a little.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah, and as soon as I cut the wheel.
All right.
Cut the whole way already.
Okay.
Okay, now watch.
Yep,
See?
there it goes. Yep,
Yeah.
thank you.
Yeah, because that's important. That's what sucks
All
to
right.
change.
We got a horn. All right. So we got a horn. We got a radio. We got wipers. We got turn. So I'm gonna run out the outside turn signals real quick.
Wait till that down.
Okay. While he's doing that, heater slides are free. Yep, I can hear the fan. Okay, all that is appearing to work. Did you get anything?
Still saying
All
burn.
right, let's check it. I'm gonna pause. Car's got a pretty aggressive rumble. It's making the piece of trim. Actually, you know what? That gauge is working. I'm sorry, it's working.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
I said no, and I apologize. But you got a loose
there it
connection
goes.
up
It's coming
there?
down now. Yeah, but it was just need to wait a little bit because it's getting corroded a little bit.
might
There you go.
need
It should be around 60.
So might need to clean that up and clean it
we'll
up for
clean
him,
it
huh?
up, yeah.
The gas gauge appears to be working. Pause the camera about
see it right
10 or
there.
12 times. And we probably got about 15 minutes of runtime total right now. Let me check my clock. But temperature's nice and running
there,
about 180-ish, yeah. We'll let it run another 5 or 10 minutes, see what happens. Can you hit the left for me, please? Oh, man, it's hard to see out here. Yep. And the right. I cannot. Yeah, that's working. Okay, can you tap the brake pedal, please? Yep. Off. On. Thank you. This thing got, is that reverse light hooked up, do you know?
Oh, yeah.
Is it? It'd be unusual if it was. Yes, it is. Yeah, nice. All right, let's see what we got for headlights. Parking lights. Nothing yet. I do hear the motor maybe trying to work. Oh, here we go. Yep. Close brights. Lights. bay doors are closing. Okay, do a quick wrap up here on the paint and the body, engine bay. I don't smell anything leaking up here. I don't see much going on. Really quickly, 4214 ends our VIN. 4214 on our core support stamp. And 4214 on our fender tag. I tried to peel up the rear body trunk molding. It is not. It's glued down really nicely, and I'm not going to be responsible for tearing it. We know it's been modified anyway. I'm going to pull this thing in. But before I do, take a chance to just show this interior with a little more sunlight on it than what was previously reflected to the purchaser. The carpet kit's in really nice shape. It's a correct loop style carpet. Metal covers have all been changed. Side of the console was laid in with that same type of material. That's not OEM. The seat material really is in just... It's hard to find things to criticize about this car because it just doesn't show really any wear to speak of. Dash pad's in really nice shape. Dash face is very nice. Headliner has a couple little tiny wrinkles. Nothing horrible, but those could have been worked out with a little bit of heat shrinkage. Rear side trim's very nice. Package tray has some 6x9s installed. Looks like the standard kind of material. The dome light's not coming on. Let's see what we got there. I'll mess with that when we're not on the clock. Courtesy lights are operating down low. Parking brake operational. So the buyer wanted me to operate the clutch pedal and talk about the engagement, but you can see clearly from the test drive the engagement is awesome. It's about halfway off the floor as it's coming together, and again a hydraulic clutch. Doesn't feel like any shutters happening. Steering feels really tight. Take some getting used to. I begged him to let me do the test drive, but I think he drove it way harder than I would have. So I think it's better he was the driver. All right, quick look around the body and paint, and we'll be done with this one. All right, to wrap up on the paint and body, I did a digital paint meter and a magnet test on the car. The reflective quality, I think, probably speaks for itself. I am 3 feet away from the car, and you could read my shirt emblem pretty easily in it. So there's really no issues on color, reflective quality. Sanded and blocked flat as death. This thing is just nice and flat and straight, and the paint's really nice. Digital paint meter, right between the magnets, is a 7 on the gauge, a 9.5. I'm right above the feature line, 7. Some of this area was no doubt blocked out. Don't know what we're going to get down there, 16. So top of the wheel wells. I have still photos of several spots, but there's really no spot in the car. Here's 11 ahead of the tire. This area quite often gets blocked out so that the flushness of the door is better, you know, on the long quarter panels. The door here tested out real good. 4.5. Turn it to the light. 6. 8.5. Over here, 13. 18. Coming down a little bit. And here's where we're not getting a reading. And there we're getting a reading higher than 30. Higher than 30. So this is the area that they started you know, blocking and filling to make that door line nice. Let's go back and see how far we got to catch it before we get a reading again. There we go, 19. I'm about 10 inches away from the door, maybe 11. 22. 22 represents the thickness of about $5 bills, by the way. 14. So we're coming back around to 18. So this area right here was probably flushed out. But as far as straightness goes, I don't have any complaints. Other side of the car mimics this side. Down low, we got good connections. 9.5. I'm on the fender this time. 13.5. Door corner, 7.5. Lines are super flush up here. All the seals and belt moldings, all this stuff was changed. Door handles were pulled. And we have a duplicate on the other side. Lastly, the doors, 2 fingers, close really nice. I don't think I would jack that door around at all. I think I'd leave it alone, personally, because you might chip the paint. Oh, and there was a small ding and a small bubble. I'll point those out if I can find them. Let's see, the little tiny ding was up here along the very top edge. It wasn't really a ding so much as a little spot in the body that just didn't get, it's so small, I'm not going to be able to find it. I think I have a still photo of it. And we have a small paint bubble on the sail panel on the other side. Again, we have the same condition over here. Very good adhesion. Great lines there. This door line is near perfect. And look at this. I mean, that's just, it's pretty nice. Quarter wheel openings fit really well. $16, $17. And a little bit of fill work down in here, which we already talked about while it was on the hoist. All right, super straight. Chrome on the bumpers, very nice. Don't hear any exhaust leaks. Drip rails, this was part of the fender tag option. Very minor patina, not really pitting, you can't feel it, but you can see it on these vent frames. Windshield was changed, just an aftermarket unit. I could not find any rock chips in it. If there are, they are very, very small.